So this lesson just is doing a basic review of points, lines, and planes. You've hopefully heard about points, lines, and planes in early elementary, learning about a point and 2 points make a line and 3 points make a plane. But we're going to learn a little bit about how to name things with symbols, what kind of letters to use when you're naming points, lines, and planes, and what they really mean. And one thing you need to know with a line, normally we draw a line like this, and 2 points are required to make a line, because if I only have 1 point, I don't know which direction the line's going to go until I put the second one in there, right? So I have to have 2 points to get a line. Now, just because these 2 points are A and B, the line actually goes on forever. I put arrows to indicate that, but a lot of times people think line is like this length, or a line is this length, or well, a line is infinite, but we can't draw that, so we just put arrows showing that it goes on forever. Okay? Planes are the same way. If I said this piece of paper was a plane, okay, the plane's not constricted to just the shape. It goes on in both 2 dimensions, this direction and this direction, forever. Okay, but we just draw a rectangle to say it's a plane, but really I want you to envision it as going on forever in both directions. The reason we need 3 points to name a plane, and the 3 points have to be non-collinear. So what's collinear mean? On the same line. Okay, so if I told you it takes 3 points to create a plane, and you gave me 3 points that are on the same line, I still don't have that final direction. I don't know which way to angle the plane without that 3rd point. Okay, so here's an example of what moving the points around. Here, if I just keep these 2 fixed, and I have this point, and I move it, that kind of tells me which way to tilt this plane. That 3rd point is really important. And same here, if this is my line, and I move this point, these 2 are fixed, and that's the line, but now the plane is moving at whatever direction that point exists for that 3rd point. Okay, so 3 points are required to define a plane, not just 2. And they can't be collinear points, because if I just give you a straight line, I don't know what that rotation needs to be without that point off the line. Make sense so far? Okay, so when we describe points, lines, and planes, points are always capital letters, like bold capital. Lines are represented by this symbol, meaning it goes direct in both directions. And I might call this line AB. That tells me it's a line that goes through the point A and the point B. Okay? Or if I've got this line going through point A and B, I could always call it line L as an alternative. When I call lines by one letter, that letter has to be lowercase and italicized, like cursive. Okay, so one way I can call this line is line L. Another way I can call it is line AB, because it takes 2 points to define the line. Okay?
Why is it line L again?
Because I just labeled it that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I could have called it J or M, but I just labeled it L. Okay, so you're going to see, sometimes you're going to see complicated drawings. You're going to have, all these points, and you're going to have another line, and you're going to have, but every now and then you're just going to see this little letter by a line. That's the name of the line. Okay, it's not a point, because it's italicized and it's lowercase. Okay. Rays start at a point and go on forever in one direction. If it's pointing to the right, the point it starts at is the first letter in that system. If it's pointing to the left, that what I would call ray BA. It means it starts at B and it's going through A on its way to infinity. A is one of the points. Okay. Now, if I have a line, let's do a line and not. Let's say, okay, I could say this is line AC. I could say it's line AB. I could say it's line CA. I could say it's line BA. With lines, it doesn't matter because it goes on forever. And as long as you name 2 points on the line, that's a way to name it. So there's lots of ways to name the same line. Okay? When I'm dealing with rays, if I wanted to talk about another way to name ray AB, I could also say it's ray AC. It has to have the same starting point, but any point you've identified that goes on forever that it goes through can be part of the name, as long as it's got 2 letters. Okay? And because ray AB goes from this point to infinity, it goes through point C. Therefore, I could also say it's equivalent to ray AC. These are the same ray. Okay? I can't say it's equivalent to BC because that's a different starting point. Right? They always, to be the same ray, they have to have the same starting point. Okay? Segments don't have arrows. Segments are just truncated lines. Okay? So ray or segment AB, I could have line AB, but when I'm talking about segment AB, I'm just talking about this piece right here, not the whole thing. Okay? The other thing, if I have ray, let's call this AB, and I have ray AC, these are called opposite rays. They begin at point A, one ray goes to B, one ray goes to C, and what's interesting about opposite rays, when they're put together, they form a line. So opposite rays form a line. Okay. So let's look at the textbook and video check. The other thing I should know, when you're talking about planes, I'm going to deal with a plane here. Remember, it takes 3 points and they can't be on the same line. 2 of them can, because this would be the same line, that would be the same line, this would be the same line. But the 3 of them can't to define a plane. Planes are always defined by capital italicized letters, like letter J. But it's you always see it's kind of tilted a little bit, or it's cursive a little, it's capital letter. So this plane could be called plane J. I should do little j. Or plane ABC. Both of those mean the same plane. Okay? So looking at this, the symbol below signifies which geometric figure? Ray BA. Because it's going left, that means B is at the end of it, and A is with the point that it's going through to infinity. Ray BA. Question 2, true or false? Ray CA and line KF are coplanar, meaning on the same plane. Coplanar means the same plane. Collinear means the same line. Are coplanar with the plane J. You see how they have the J and it's kind of tilted? There it is. Right, described. So is that true or false?
False.
False, because KF is not on plane J. KF goes through plane J. Point K is on the plane, point F is not. So therefore, those two, the ray and the line, are not coplanar. They're not on the same plane. Make sense? Okay. True or false, the only difference between a theorem and a postulate is that a postulate is assumed true and a theorem must be proven true. You're going to learn a lot about proofs in this class, and we're going to have postulates that are given to you as fact because there's no way to prove them. So you just have to assume that they're true. You're going to use those postulates then to prove theorems true. So this is true. Okay. The intersection of two planes is what shape? A line. So let's pretend this piece of paper folded. Half of it is a plane that's running this direction, and the other half's a plane that's running up and down. You can see where the fold is. The shape of that is a line. Where two planes intersect is always a line, never a point, because there's an infinite number of points where these two planes go forever, right? Two lines always intersect at what?
Point.
A point. Okay, two lines, there'll always be one point of intersection for two lines. And then according to the video, opposite rays form a line. Okay, so you have 2 assignments for every section. One assignment is a CK12 assignment. One assignment is the assignment in Big Ideas. Okay, to get to Big Ideas, again, go to your home screen. Go to the Big Ideas icon on the front page. And it should take you to a page like this. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just takes you right to the book if you've been on already. You're going to log in with Clever. And then if it asks for your school, just start typing Kimball, and there'll be a drop-down that says Kimball Junior Senior High. And then sign in with Google.
Interruption. Those attending the cross-country meet this afternoon, you are dismissed at this time. Good luck.
And once you sign in with Google, you should get a page that looks like this.
Every time. I forget how long my legs are.
Now, we're just doing the homework in this site, but the site has a lot of other tools and resources if you're interested. If you're not getting something, this would be a good resource for you. There's videos in here. There's the ebook. This would not be the book we're using in our class, but a different book. Sometimes it's nice to have a different slant on how things are presented. So there's an ebook here. There's lots of resources. What we're going to use primarily in this is the classroom problems. And so if they don't come up for you like this, you can just go to the menu at the top, these 3 bars, and you'll see in assignments. You can click there. And then you should see all the assignments that are currently open.
I don't have any assignments on it. It'll load in a second.
It takes a minute.
You just gotta give it a little bit.
Oh, that's Algebra 2. So go to Geometry.
Oh.
That's all right.
so it's
No,
an algebra
just
too.
go up there
Oh.
to Geometry.
That makes more sense now.
That's all right. They eliminated all the classes in there but the math, but since you're in 2, I don't use this for Algebra 2, so if it comes up Algebra 2, just switch to Geometry. And then go to the menu, and then Assignments.
Alrighty.
Okay, so your work now from this point to the end of class should be to try and get through this assignment on Big Ideas and then do the 1 assignment on CK12. Those are both due tomorrow night at midnight, so they aren't due tonight.
Oh, I thought they were due literally today.
No, they're always due a day after we talk about whatever we're talking about. Okay, that way you have class time tomorrow to ask questions and get whatever final things you need to, in your mind, figured out. So they're due tomorrow at midnight, but you also need to come tomorrow prepared for Section 2, because we'll have a textbook and video check for Section 2 at the first part of the class. Make sense?
I still don't have any of the assignments left. And I've refreshed it.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop recording here, and I'll go see if I can figure it out. Maybe because we added you late? I don't know.